Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is a long overdue video. I do apologize. Things have been hectic, but very productive and feeling amazing. So it's nothing major. It's just a lot of work-life stuff, right? For those who don't know, I'm actually a caregiver at home, and I dabble in a few different things. Take care of the bills, pretty much the whole house. It's a lot. And lately, we've also been dealing with a few pest infestations. That's fun. Always fun. We got it mostly under control, thankfully. Uh, so today I'm going to talk about the 8-8 portal, and this energy's already started happening for me too. So I've had to kind of pace myself. I'm doing the best I can. And as a result, I've gotten behind, and there's been funny things happening. Had a pair of earbuds die on me, so I'm about 6 hours less every day of listening abilities to various things, whether it be my healing modalities or videos I want to catch up on, entertainment, any readings. So I'm like super behind on a lot of things, and I'm doing a lot of research at the same time. I've got some new decks coming in, and some blank cards too, because I'm going to make my own decks. I wanted to actually do sort of a healing deck for the stages of awakening. So drop down comments below which stages you think would be most helpful. I know there's a lot of healing oriented tools for the dark night, the ego death, as well as awakening, like the wake up itself, as well as purpose stage, and some for grounding and bliss as well. But I'm noticing a lot of void stage energy everywhere, so I was thinking of starting with that, and then maybe moving on to one of the other ones that need a little more fine tuning. Either dark night or grounding, I haven't quite decided. So if any of those you think might be helpful to you, just drop down in the comments below, and I can kind of pull something together, and maybe we can have a little bit of additional guidance on that. I'm doing a couple others as well. Some mantra affirmations deck that I'm going to do. I was going to do people identifiers. Oh, and healing masculine energy, because I think that's needed at this point. I think there's a lot of people also going through the grounding stage and learning to balance out their soul energy, as well as lower self stuff, higher self stuff, like mind, body, soul type of thing. So that's just some of the stuff I've been working on, and I think will be helpful. I'm trying to think what else there was. All right, before we get into talking about the 8-8 portal and getting some guidance, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So the 8-8 portal, has already pretty much happened. Every year, the portal gives us a chance to evolve and walk into being a more empowered version of ourselves that's closer to living the life we truly, as authentic souls, want to live, right? It's also a time for us to really kind of figure out what our life map is. For those that awaken to their higher selves and what the higher self wants, you start really kind of figuring that stuff out. And the portal is a really good way to harness that as well, to kind of take things to the next level, right? It's a time when the sun and Sirius are synchronized to be visible, and it activates a gateway between the tangible dimension and the spiritual world. It reaches a peak on the 8th, but the energy has its 14-day shadow sides. So for some of us, it's already begun, and for some, it will be beginning, and it peaks on the 8th. So let's see what else. Oh, the vortex allows supercharged light codes to flood the planet, as well as enhancing psychic abilities, higher consciousness, awareness, transitions in the death, birth, rebirth, new beginning phases to be more felt intensely. It's also a feeling of more awakened, an increased amount of number syncs, increased dream messages, manifestations are more instant, and positive transformation is occurring more fluidly. Yes, that's the word. Eights will be significant. So if you've been seeing eights, there you go. This is typically a time when mediumship abilities are more enhanced or newly discovered. That's how I discovered mine, was the last Lion's Gate. Okay. It's great for working with the solar plexus chakra. Eights are connected to the eighth house and the eighth sign of Scorpio, which means connections to power, transformation, energy, passion, and sexuality. It also corresponds to the Strength card in Tarot, with a woman who is calmly interacting to a lion as well. Last 8-8 portal. That's how I discovered I was connecting with higher selves external to me. I also channeled 4 ancestors and an ascended master, Isis. And she only showed up just to let me know that I could do that. She didn't really have anything new to talk about. She just wanted to give me a little sis boom rah, cheerleader style, like, you got this. But it was very enlightening to talk to 4 of my ancestors that I have known while living, as well as the 2 higher selves of 2 particular energies that have been very integral in my awakening, so to speak. I learned a lot of past life stuff too, and so it's like you tap into that energy and you're able to kind of really get some more nitty gritty about your soul's knowledge, right? And go beyond what you know in this current life. So I felt that to be very beneficial. It was a lot to process, but and I'm still getting the bits and pieces to that, but yeah, it definitely opens a door. I'll say that. And where it takes you is only something your soul knows. So go with it. Take your time. If you're not ready, then just you let spirit know you're not ready. It's too much or whatever. Or if you need to pace yourself or anything like that. If you're open to receive, say so. Give permission. Right? Okay. And that goes for anything too. If you feel like you need some help with the healing, or in terms of an aspect, that's a good time to really tap in and say, hey, I really need a little extra something here, please spirit, can you help? And your higher self will know exactly the right thing for you to pay attention to. You can ask for signs, specific signs, if you need to. Show me this if this is this, and if I need help here, just guide me over here by showing me this thing in the tangible, so I can see, like a bird, or seeing this sequence, or this number, and then seeing this animal next, or any combination like that. Make it personal to you, so only it doesn't seem like it's so random. Something that seems concrete, like you can't deny it, right? Like you can't make it up. Okay. Let's see how else. The way to harness this energy is to tap not only into that solar plexus, gaining that inner strength and balancing it with the love and the generosity and the leadership and creativity, but it's also a good time to balance your lower chakras as well. It's almost kind of like this time frame is really good for grounding, as well as kind of like working through a void stage. And that's why I'm saying that the void seems very prevalent right now. I'm noticing a lot of folks are going through those middle stages, I guess, kind of. I mean, I know that the awakening stages are not linear for everybody, but I only know from my own personal experience, it seems more middle area. So at least with the void and the grounding stages, this would be that time. And it may kind of like bring you over that hump of not knowing what to do. You'll get some like insight as to what the next step is, right? You also still need to keep your higher chakras balanced as well. Just because you are opening up through your soul star and your Merkaba and light body, as well as your outer auric layers as well, because you're connecting with the divine more intensely, more specifically and clearly. So it's always good to keep all your whole system, your whole auric on point, as well as, you know, everything around you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can mention that I recall that was very helpful last year. Removing what no longer serves your highest and greatest, most loving good will be extremely helpful. There's going to be a lot of tests from the universe with regards to karmic energies coming in that are just meant as distraction to see if you've been paying attention in class as to how to handle things and regaining your self-worth and your inner strength, right? So that's another thing that ties in with your solar plexus chakra with regards to this time frame, and you will be more connected energetically like that. So that's another thing. Your cutoff game will be on point. And sometimes you just need to kind of like disconnect for a hot minute, you know, because you know it's not you that's the, you know, that's needing the healing, it's them. And maybe your absence will kind of teach that. Sometimes the energy works that way. Energy is so funny. You know, it has all these nuances because it's so fluid, right? Just want to make sure I cover everything. There's been a lot. Oh, this is also a really good time to figure out what categories of light work that you're resonating with as well, and to start working more with that. I mean, as we all know, there's more than just one kind of light work, right? Like healing, teaching, sharing is like a category. You've got your energy clearing, which includes transmutation, picking up the energy, getting it moving, and, you know, and cleansing it. There's also blueprint light work for those that, you know, have those sacred partnerships where they're supposed to essentially lead by example. Then, of course, you have your messenger. So all of these, oh, and the gatekeepers and grid workers, all these different types. So, I mean, like if you're feeling like you resonate with any of those types, this would be a good time to kind of like really tap in and explore it further and ask for more guidance on that as well. Because you will be tapping into this higher dimensional energy, right? And this is also a good time to really prepare for massive energetic shifts, because there's just going to be a lot of that. Collectively speaking, we're all experiencing a lot of variables right now. So it almost feels chaotic, but it's not. It's moving in a way where, in divine timing, everything is as it's coming to plan. It's coming to divine plan. So this time is definitely, I've noticed with the overlaps with all the retrogrades and this particular portal and, you know, all the moon phases. Yeah, things are getting shaken up, but in strategic spots where they can be ironed out and fine-tuned and healed and worked on, right? You know, so it's kind of interesting to see where the dust will settle after all this. And this is a good time to kind of work on all those bits and pieces, right? It's a good time to practice observing and balancing and evolving all at the same time simultaneously. It's also a good time to do higher frequency evolution oriented practices like going within, practicing gratitude. I can't express that enough. I mean, every single time I'm on a video now, you know, and anytime I comment, regardless of whether or not it resonates, I always say thank you, or I show some love in some way, shape, or form. If I'm lazy or have to move quickly, I'll do a bunch of, you know, hearts or whatever, praying hands, just something to express gratitude, right? And that's everywhere now. I'm not just limiting that to readings. I'm also doing that with, oh shoot, if I watch a movie on YouTube, I'm even saying thank you. Or Mr. Boland, or cinema therapy, or even the news, okay? Even if I disagree with it, or it just seems like it's, you know, whatever, still say thank you, you know, because it's always good to practice it on a regular basis, right? It raises your frequency, and it helps you kind of get through things. It's another good time to work with ceremonies or rituals that, you know, connect you to self-love and to the spirit realm for guidance as well. Should that be your thing? If not, you know, you could always do some mantras and meditations and whatever other, those are rituals and practices too. So let's get a little bit of guidance from spirit and see where we can direct energy if we need any advice. guidance, direction of any kind here. Pull some cards. I'm not entirely certain where to start because I know we're all on different timelines here. So, all right, what am I feeling? Let's get the mermaids out and see what advice they have. Get a couple cards here. Spirit, what guidance do you have for the collective at this time through the 8-8 portal? Anything they need to be on the lookout for? Please and thank you. All right, 2 came out immediately. Nice. We have solitude. That makes sense. How apropos. And dive deep. All right. Both of those talk about exactly what I just mentioned. Solitude's really all about going within, right? Hermit mode type stuff, tapping into spirit. Dive deep also talks about really working on some of the darker aspects of things that maybe you haven't had much of a chance to do, like your shadow work, for example. That's actually really important to do. But it also talks about that it's not helpful. Sorry, guys. This glare. Let me see if I can. That's a little better. All right. So yeah, it talks about like your darker aspects that you need to work on. So let's talk about that. Since we got some dark on the board, let's break out the Halloween Oracle and see where dark we need to kind of focus on and be aware of. And I'm actually going to read bits and pieces from the book on that. All right. This is the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, for those that are wondering. And the Mermaids deck is, who does, oh, Karen K. She does that. Messages from the Mermaids. And we'll get one more. Thank you, Spirit. Awesome sauce, thank you. We have Mummy, Change. We have Black Cat, Fortune Meets Opportunity. I know this is on a slant. Try to keep it there. Let's do that then. Table's not even. It's actually 2 tray tables next to each other. Apple, Risk, and Reward. Okay, we'll start with Apple since it's alphabetical. All right. Apple, Risk and Reward. Sweetest icon, risky red desire. Poison and freedom, tempting hearts afire. Apples have been a symbol of Samhain for a very long time. When cut in half, they have a seed pattern that looks like a pentagram, and so the Celts held the fruit to be sacred. Bobbing for apples, a game traditionally played at Halloween, has its origin in the Samhain festival and is one of the oldest associated with the celebration. You don't need to learn how to play it. Let's get the basics of the message here. Okay. It is said that unmarried women who placed the apple they had bobbed under their pillow would dream of their future husband. In Newfoundland and some parts of Ireland even today, Halloween is called Snap Apple Night. All right, come on. All right. Apples have been an iconic part of mythos from ancient times to modern. The story of the poison apple in Snow White, to the Roman goddess Pomona's magical apple tree, to the Christmas's tempting fruit in the Garden of Eden. It's time to look at how risk plays out in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want to change but are not willing to change anything? Are you willing to risk to get a greater reward? Or alternatively, are you risking too much or too often? So this is a good time to kind of evaluate where you're putting your energy, right? Okay. Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Sleek and black and lantern-eyed, crosses your path with a hiss. Good luck and fortune sweep by with a kiss. All right, hold on, let's get through it. In traditional folklore, cats were said to have one foot in this world and one in the next. They were the conduit between the underworld and this world, and fortune and opportunity. Let's see here. Know that good luck and fortune will be meeting you promptly. Also know that your luck will be even luckier if you are prepared to take advantage of every special opportunity that comes your way. Mummy. Change. The sand in his mouth, the bandage's wound, jealous of the living, eternal life bound. The ancient Egyptians took death very seriously. Death was not seen as many of us see it, a finality to be dreaded, but just as the beginning of a new life, an often eternal life, in a better place, the afterlife. The practice of honoring and preserving the body through a complex process of mummification was central to ancient Egyptian culture. Many other cultures also mummified their dead, including the Incas, the Argentinians, the Maori, and many of the cultures of the Torres Strait Islands. Let's see. Know that change is inevitable, and that no matter how hard you try, things will not be preserved exactly the same way. The card also indicates that this change will be for the better. The endings, the closed doors, the barriers, this is just a healthy pause and an indication that a change of tactics is needed. You are not cursed. You have just developed a pattern. You can take control and change it. Moving forward, I'm thinking we should get to the next deck. This is the Wisdom of the House of the Night Oracle. It's always fun to try and say that 10 times fast. It's a great deck, though. I'm really starting to connect to it more now. It was a little hard at first, just because it's such a different style, right? You know, I think that's good to kind of switch it up. All right. Got a few here, Spirit. Okay, that's good. All right. We have High Priestess of Fire. I'm going to try and... High Priestess of Fire. We have Focus. We have Message. And Understanding. Okay, they're not all going to fit. So I'm going to try and do this. Hopefully it'll stay up. And Understanding. So the numbers we have on the board are 5, 17, which breaks down to an 8, 45 that breaks down to a 9, 43 that breaks down to a 7, if that has any meaning or significance for you guys. And we'll go ahead. Message, Understanding, Focus, High Priestess of Fire. Let's start with her. She's the first one to pop out. My child, you have chosen the symbol of the vampire, High Priestess of Fire, the goddess of creativity and passion. Whenever she arrives, she reminds you of your ability to create your own reality and to choose how you channel your energy. If you are restless, call upon the High Priestess of Fire for inspiration and joy. She will release you from the trap of boredom. Fire brings warmth and light, but it also burns when it is allowed to get out of control. Spend your energy creatively and not impulsively, and guard yourself against burning out. Use your fire wisely and let your light shine brightly. 17 is Focus. It is a wonderful sign that with focus you'll achieve what you want. You must let go of all distractions and have the courage to give it your all. You can't control every outcome. Just as the wind can influence the path of your arrow, there are many factors determining the course of your plans. To achieve anything, you must focus, take aim, and let go. 40, we'll go with 43. Go with Understanding first, since it's in order. Here we go. Symbol for deep and true comprehension. Okay. It is one thing to read something or to hear something, but it is another to truly understand something. You're being asked to keep an open mind and heart and to allow yourself to absorb information as you receive it. Again, with the observation. Be open to the wisdom that could come only with time, patience, and perspective. Try to get outside of yourself and imagine what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes. To understand is to have power. And you'll be a lot more open to that perception at this time. So the nuances will come through a little bit more obviously to you. And you're about to get a message with a special meaning. Any hints as to what it might be? Literal, mail, text, email. direct messages, or a sign from nature, again with the sinks, okay? Regardless of what you ask, you will soon know the answer. So be open, right? Be open to receive and ask for it specifically. That way you can know that it's the message, right? Okay. There's no confusion. That way you have understanding. Okay. All right. So given that we're talking about chakra work as well, let's see what a chakra card comes up. I'm going to go ahead so you can see the back there. There we go. All right. Spirit, just one card from the chakra deck. Please and thank you. And we'll read bits and pieces. There's a lot of good information depending on the card. Some you can skim through. All right. Here we go. Can't make it up. Rebirth. Number 2. Can you see that okay? All right. Earth Star Chakra. You have pulled this card. You're undergoing a rebirth. It's a powerful awakening and healing process that comes in many different forms and is a big part of your life's journey. Everything has a divine timing. Nothing lasts forever. Things have a beginning and an end. A divine knowing when it's time to move, create, and time to be still. Something in your life is ending and something very positive is awakening within you. It's time to let go of anything that is not supporting you or serving you at this point as you open and receive new energies that are being offered. Moving beyond your comfort zone and into a new sphere of opportunity can be uncomfortable, challenging, or painful, but remember that you are guided and supported by the light of your soul and the universe, which brings positive changes and experiences. You have planted seeds of new opportunity and have been nurturing them. Now it's time for them to sprout, grow, and flower into existence. Be kind and gentle during this process, and be sure to water the seeds with love and graciousness. You have been waiting patiently for this time of change, new beginnings to arrive, so bathe in its glory, start something new, or embark on a project you have been pondering over. There may also be some new inspiration coming through for you at this time. Take a moment to connect with your inner voice and listen to what your soul is sharing with you. You could also be birthing a new aspect of yourself. Whatever the process is for you right now, be sure to embrace this opportunity and enjoy the new energy that is available to you. Awesome. Now I'm going to pull out an animal spirit guide, a few cards, and maybe there's some direction. Spirit can kind of like let you know where to focus and pay attention to specifically if you've got a lot going on. Where there's some these new experiences, new opportunities, new insights, new enhancements, abilities, etc., will be needing focus. All right. So we have the grouse. Express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. We have Wolverine. You're a lot tougher than you think you are. And tiger. You are being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you are capable of doing so. I'm also going to pull some Frida advice because I missed this deck. For those aiming for creative, loving aspects, working heart chakra as well, or sacral chakra. All right. Any advice for us, darling? Miss Carlo, how you doing? There we go. All right. I'm trying to be very gentle with this new deck. My shuffle can be really rough. All right. All right, here we go. First piece of advice. You're a living work of art. You'll always be becoming your true self. Don't be afraid of the biggest unknown in your life, your potential. It's a gift you must unwrap each day. If you need to repair something, use gold and be creative. See the value in mending. And I do believe that's referring to alchemy a little bit. So that could be that. Not necessarily literal gold. So basically, transmutation. Kind of synergizing, making, creating, right? Okay. All right, guys, that's what I have for you regarding our portal. I will be posting more stuff in future. All right. Thank you. Bye.